My name is Monica Davis, and at 61 years old, I never imagined I'd become the architect of my own liberation, not alone, but with a sisterhood I didn't know I had. For 3 years, my life had been a prison disguised as a home, built brick by the son I raised with every ounce of love in my body. Ethan, my only child, had transformed from the sweet boy who once clung to my skirts into a monster who controlled my every breath, my every penny, and my every bruise. It started innocently enough, or so I thought. 3 years ago, Ethan showed up at my door after his divorce, suitcase in hand, eyes pleading like the 8-year-old he'd been when his father left us. "Mom, just for a while," he said, "until I get back on my feet." I opened my arms and my home, the cozy 2-story house I'd bought with my savings from 40 years as an executive secretary at Sullivan and Associates. How could I not? He was my blood, my everything. But innocence faded fast. First came the comments. "Mom, this soup is bland." "Mom, why can't you clean properly?" Then the control. He took over my finances, claiming it was for my own good. My $1,200 monthly pension vanished into his accounts, leaving me with a $20 weekly allowance like a child. Savannah, his new wife, 25 years his junior, ambitious and polished, arrived 6 months later, turning my home into their kingdom. I became the maid, the cook, the invisible woman who flinched at raised voices. The violence crept in like a shadow, a push here, a slap there, escalating to punches that left me bleeding on the kitchen floor. Last night had been the worst. Over unsalted soup, Ethan exploded, hurling the bowl at my face, the hot liquid scalding my cheek, porcelain shards cutting my lip. "Useless!" he screamed, his fists raining down until I curled into a ball. Then, as always, the calm. "I'm sorry, Mom. I just want you to do better." He slept soundly while I cleaned my own blood. This morning, he acted as if nothing happened. "Breakfast," he barked, not looking up from his phone. I prepared his eggs precisely, 3 spoonfuls of cheese, 2 toasts, black coffee. Savannah arrived in her green dress, flashing her fake smile. "Good morning, Mrs. Davis." Ethan handed me expensive makeup to cover the scrapes from tripping, whispering threats. "One word and you'll regret it." They left hand in hand, and I collapsed, tears of rage streaming. I couldn't live like this anymore. But how to escape? The house was in both our names. He'd tricked me into adding him for security. My money was his. I was trapped. That's when the lunch happened. Ethan demanded I host Savannah's friends, seafood pasta, Caesar salad, desserts, white wine, all on $60. I stretched every penny at the supermarket, where Clarice, my 60-something widow neighbor, approached. "Monica, you look hurt. That lip?" I lied about a door, but her eyes said she knew. "If you need anything, I'm next door." Back home, I cooked frantically. At noon, Savannah arrived with Beatrice, HR, Brenda, marketing, and Evelyn, legal. Evelyn, my estranged younger sister, whom I hadn't seen in 2 years. Our eyes met. Surprise flickered, but we played strangers. "Pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Davis." Lunch proceeded flawlessly. I served, smiled, hid my bruises under makeup. Evelyn's gaze lingered on my swollen lip, my tense posture. The women praised the food. "You're so devoted," Brenda said. Savannah smirked, like a housekeeper but with love. Evelyn asked about my career. Pride swelled as I recounted 40 years at Sullivan and Associates, handling big cases, meeting judges. Savannah shifted uncomfortably, changing the subject. "Ethan handles everything now." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. In the kitchen for dessert, Evelyn followed. "Monica," she whispered, "are you okay? You seem off." Ethan's key turned in the door. "Fine," I hissed. He entered, charming, hand on my shoulder, squeezing a warning. The women left. Evelyn whispered, "We'll see each other soon." Ethan approved. "You didn't embarrass me." But then, The technicians checking your computer, strange websites. My heart sank. I'd searched abuse shelters. As I cleaned, my phone rang. Ethan's accountant, Adrian, urging me to the office about discrepancies. I snuck out, learning Ethan had embezzled $50,000 using my account. File a complaint, Adrian said. Stunned, I returned to Ethan, raging. Where were you? I confronted him. $50,000 stolen? He grabbed me, but the doorbell rang. Clarice with Stu and Evelyn beside her, visiting the neighborhood. Ethan faked normalcy. They left, but his threats escalated. Tomorrow, we fix this. I cried until Clarice knocked at the back door. I heard everything. I have a camera by your window, recorded his threats. Hope sparked. Clarice had a DA friend specializing in abuse. Come now. I grabbed documents and fled with Clarice. At the DA's office, Brenda from lunch? No, different Brenda, reviewed footage, abuse, fraud, blackmail. I filed complaints. Police arrested Ethan at home mid-rampage. But jail didn't stop him. Messages came, pleas, then threats. He knew old firm secrets, altered documents in the Williams case 15 years ago. I confessed to Brenda. I'd organized files per Sullivan's orders, not knowing it was illegal. Unreported bonuses, too, tax evasion. Ethan's letters escalated, photos of documents, demands to drop charges, or recordings of you taking cash. He'd installed hidden cameras in the house. Brenda, we expose him publicly, she said. Press conference, leak to the media. His empire, career, marriage, reputation crumbles. Twist came 2 days later. Savannah called Evelyn. I need to meet, privately. We met at a coffee shop. Savannah, usually poised, looked broken. I knew he hit her, saw marks, heard screams, but he said Monica was crazy, provoking him. Threatened my job if I spoke. Why now? Evelyn asked. Savannah teared up. Arrest opened my eyes. Found papers he's stealing from my accounts too. Sold company secrets. I have insider info, emails, logs. I'll help expose him. Solidarity sealed. Savannah, insider at Northern, provided non-confidential docs. Ethan's expense reports mismatched with thefts. Our team, Monica, victim, connector. Evelyn, legal eagle. Clarice, surveillance, witnesses. Savannah, insider. Phase 2, build the dossier. Nights blurred in Clarice's living room, papers everywhere. Evelyn cross-referenced Sullivan files. Your alterations were standard redaction for privilege, legal. Ethan's copies? Forged timestamps. Clarice's witnesses, 5 affidavits detailing abuse. Savannah's gold, emails where Ethan bragged to a competitor about inside info for cash. Adrian added, full audit, $130,000 embezzled, laundered through my account. Brenda, DA, this is airtight, but public first, force his plea. Phase 3, execution. We chose a neutral venue, a community center hall, invited media, Raphael, and police. Day of, I stood tall, flanked by my allies. Cameras rolled. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, I'm Monica Davis. For 3 years, my son Ethan abused me physically, financially, emotionally. Today, with my sister Evelyn, neighbor Clarice, and daughter-in-law Savannah, we expose the truth. We presented footage, Clarice, documents, Evelyn, emails, Savannah, statements, me. Media frenzy, headlines, executives' dark side, abuse, fraud exposed by family. Empire fell, company fired him, competitors sued, Savannah filed divorce, jail extended, no bail. In the aftermath, I looked at my team. I didn't have to fight alone. My family saved me. We hugged, free at last. Chapter 3, Forming the Bond, 1,500 words. Meeting at Clarice's, sharing stories, planning the Heist legal gathering of evidence. Chapter 4, The Insider's Turn, 1,500 words. Savannah's call, her confession, joining the team, providing key info. Chapter 5, The Dossier, 1,000 words. Detailed investigation scenes, discovering forgeries, gathering affidavits. Chapter 6, The Exposure, 1,000 words. Press conference, media reaction, Ethan's downfall. Chapter 7, New Beginnings, 500 words. Resolution, Monica's reflection on solidarity. Total approx 8,000. Now, writing it out. The Alliance of Shadows. My name is Monica Davis, and I am 61 years old. For the past 3 years, my life has been a carefully constructed hell, orchestrated by the one person I loved most in the world, my son, Ethan. The house I bought 30 years ago with my hard-earned savings from working as an executive secretary at Sullivan and Associates had become my prison. The walls that once echoed with laughter now muffled my cries. But everything changed when I realized I wasn't alone. This is the story of how my sister, my neighbor, and even my daughter-in-law formed an unbreakable alliance to dismantle Ethan's empire, not in a courtroom, but through a meticulously planned legal exposure that left him with nothing. It all culminated from a single brutal night. It was a Tuesday, and Tuesdays meant light dinners. I had prepared vegetable soup, toasting the bread just right and setting the table with care. Ethan came home from his executive job at Northern Business Corporation, his gray suit impeccable as always. He sat without a word, took one spoonful, and his face twisted in rage. "What the hell is this?" he bellowed, spitting it back into the bowl. "No salt? It's like water." I apologized instantly. "I'm sorry, son, let me fix it." But it was too late. He flipped the table, the hot soup splashing across my face, burning my cheek. Shards from the bowl cut my lip as I fell. Useless, pathetic. His fists came next, pummeling my arms, my back. I curled up on the floor, blood mixing with soup on the tiles. When his fury subsided, he helped me up with that fake gentleness. "I'm sorry, Mom. You just frustrate me. It's for your own good." He went to bed as if nothing happened. I cleaned until dawn, picking up pieces of porcelain and my shattered dignity. My body ached, but the real pain was the realization my sweet boy, spoiled by my endless sacrifices after his father left when he was 8, had become a tyrant. The next morning, he was up at 5, in his black suit, demanding breakfast. I made it perfect: scrambled eggs with 3 spoonfuls of cheese, 2 toasts, black coffee. Savannah arrived in her yellow dress, high heels clicking like accusations. "Good morning, Mrs. Davis. How are you?" Her eyes flicked to my swollen lip, but she looked away. I served her light coffee, feeling invisible. Ethan handed me makeup. "Cover those scrapes from tripping," his whisper. "Remember, if you talk, no one will believe a crazy old woman." They left, and I cried in the silent kitchen. The house, once my sanctuary, was now a cage. Ethan controlled my $1,200 pension, giving me $20 weekly. The deed had his name too, for security, he'd said. But Ethan had demands: host lunch for Savannah's friends, seafood pasta, salad, desserts, wine, on $60. At the supermarket, I bargained for frozen shrimp, cheap wine. Clarice, my widow neighbor, approached. "Monica, that lip, did you hurt yourself?" Her warm eyes saw through my lie about a door. "If you need anything, I'm always home." Home, I cooked like a woman possessed. At noon, Savannah arrived with 3 women: Beatrice from HR, Brenda from marketing, and Evelyn from legal. Evelyn, my younger sister, estranged for 2 years over old family grudges. Our eyes met. Shock, but we pretended. "Pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Davis," she said formally. I served, hovering like a ghost. They chatted about work, praising the food. "Delicious," Beatrice said. "You're so devoted." Savannah, "Like having a housekeeper with love." It stung. Evelyn asked, "What did you do before retirement?" I straightened. 40 years as executive secretary at Sullivan and Associates, handled major cases, met judges, prosecutors. Evelyn's eyes lit. "I interned there. Impressive." Savannah changed the subject. "Ethan handles her finances now. Such a good son." In the kitchen, Evelyn followed. "Do you need help?" Then whispered, Monica, are you okay? You look bruised. Ethan's key turned. Fine, I muttered. He entered, charming. How's lunch? Hand on my shoulder, squeezing hard, a warning. The women left. Evelyn whispered, "We'll see each other soon." Ethan, "Good job. But the technician's checking your computer. Strange sites." I'd searched abuse helplines. Panic rose. My phone rang. Unknown number. "Mrs. Davis? Adrian Castillo, Ethan's accountant. Urgent discrepancies. Come to the office." I snuck out while Ethan napped. At Northern Business's skyscraper, Adrian showed documents. Ethan embezzled $50,000, laundering through my account. "He's using you. File a complaint to clear your name." Shocked, I wandered streets. My son? A thief? Using me? Home at 6, Ethan waited. "Where were you?" I confronted. $50,000 stolen? He grabbed my arm. "You know nothing, old woman." Raised hand, but doorbell. Clarice with Stu. Heard voices. Beside her, Evelyn, new neighbor visiting. Ethan faked smiles. They left, but his eyes promised retribution. "Tomorrow we fix this at the bank. You'll say it's a misunderstanding, or I'll have you declared incompetent." I cried until Clarice knocked at the back. "Monica, open. I heard everything." She entered. "My camera by your window recorded his threats." Hope flickered. "Camera?" "For months I've heard screams. Installed it discreetly. Footage shows abuse, blackmail." Clarice had a DA friend in domestic abuse. "Come now. File complaints." I grabbed my purse, documents, fled to Clarice's cozy home. There, Evelyn waited. Clarice had called. "Sister." Evelyn hugged me. I suspected at lunch. Clarice confirmed. We talked hours. I spilled the abuse, fraud. Evelyn, "I'm legal at his company. I'll dig." Clarice, "Witnesses too." The alliance began. 1,250 words. That night at Clarice's guest room with its twin bed and floral curtains, I slept fitfully. First time without fear, but nightmares lingered. Morning, Brenda, DA, not lunch Brenda, arrived. We played footage. Ethan's threats clear. "Abuse, fraud, intimidation," Brenda said. "File and we'll arrest." I did. The police went to my house. Ethan raged, smashing things. Arrested for embezzlement, abuse. Relief washed, but jail calls came. "Mom, a misunderstanding. I love you." Then threats. Letters via lawyer. Secrets from Sullivan. Williams case. Altered documents. Dropped charges or exposed. Panic. I confessed to Brenda, Evelyn. Sullivan asked to organize files, remove memos. Thought legal. Unreported bonuses too. Evelyn, "I'll check archives, my internship connections." Clarice, "He's bluffing, right? But let's build our case." Plan. Legal heist, gather evidence to expose publicly, destroy reputation. Evelyn requested Williams' files as review, found my actions legal redaction, but Ethan's copies, forges, time-stamped post-dated. Clarice canvassed, Mrs. Patel affidavit, heard beatings, Mr. Gomez, shady visitors. Adrian provided audit, thefts $130,000 over 2 years, not $50,000. But Ethan sent USB, recordings. Brenda analyzed, edited clips of me accepting tips, looking like bribes. House cameras he'd installed hidden ones. "We confess your mistakes first," Brenda said. "Neutralize blackmail, then public exposure." Raphael, Ethan's boss, called. Met at Brenda's. "Apologies, Mrs. Davis. Ethan's thefts longer. $130,000, forgeries, selling secrets. Offer job, $4,000 a month, $50,000 compensation. Help rebuild." Stunned, I accepted, but focused on plan. 2 days later, Savannah called Evelyn. Meet, alone. Coffee shop. Savannah, haggard. I knew he hit her. Bruises, screams. He threatened my career. But arrest? Found he stole from me too. Emails selling info. I'll help. Why? Guilt and self-preservation. Divorce filing. Twist. Savannah joined.
Insider, she provided logs, Ethan's fraudulent reports. Our team complete. Me, the heart, Evelyn, the brains, Clarice, the eyes, Savannah, the keys. War room at Clarice's, maps of evidence. Evelyn, forged proofs.
Continuing the story with expanded content. After the alliance formed, we spent the next week in intensive preparation. Clarice's living room became a command center with papers pinned to a corkboard like in those detective movies I used to watch. Evelyn, with her sharp lawyer mind, outlined the strategy. First, debunk his blackmail, she said, spreading out the Williams case files she'd obtained through her old Sullivan contacts. Look here, your alterations were standard privilege redactions. Sullivan signed off on them. But these copies Ethan has? The metadata shows they were edited 6 months ago. He forged them to control you. I stared at the documents, my handwriting on the margins. I thought I was helping the firm, never knew it could be seen as obstruction. Savannah, sitting cross-legged on the floor, nodded. He did the same to me, forged my signatures on loans. I have the originals. Clarice, ever the practical one, brewed coffee. Now, witnesses. I talked to Mrs. Patel. She saw Ethan dragging you inside one night, heard the slap, signed an affidavit. Mr. Gomez saw him meeting a sketchy guy in the driveway, probably the competitor he sold secrets to. Perfect, Evelyn said. Savannah, the emails? Savannah pulled out a USB. Printed copies, non-confidential. Ethan emailing confidential reports for $5,000 a pop. I accessed his work laptop before they locked it. We reviewed everything. My bank statements showed the laundered money. Adrian's audit report detailed the $130,000 timeline. But it wasn't all work. One night, as we pored over papers, I broke down. How did I let it get this bad? I spoiled him after his father left, gave him everything. Evelyn hugged me. We all make mistakes. I should have been there sooner. Our fight over Mom's estate was stupid. Savannah, I married him for the life, money, status, ignored the red flags. But seeing you at lunch, Monica, your eyes, I knew. Clarice, widowhood taught me women need each other. No man defines us. Bonding deepened. We shared stories. Evelyn's career struggles as a woman in law, Clarice's loss of her husband to cancer, Savannah's ambitious climb from secretary to marketing. Close call. Ethan's friend, a coworker, drove by my house. Clarice spotted him. He's snooping. We hid evidence, acted normal when he knocked, claiming Monica's visiting family. Ethan's letter arrived. You have 48 hours. Drop charges or the world knows your crimes. We laughed, his power waning. The exposure day. Hall filled with reporters. Raphael attended. Police on standby. I opened. Good afternoon. I'm Monica Davis. For 3 years, my son Ethan abused me. But today, with my sister Evelyn Brooks, neighbor Clarice Thompson, and daughter-in-law Savannah Davis, we reveal the full truth. Evelyn presented legal docs, forged evidence, embezzlement $130,000. Clarice showed footage, affidavits. Savannah, insider fraud, selling secrets. Me, I was his victim, but no more. This is for all women in shadows. Chaos, flashes, questions. How did you gather this? What's next for Ethan? Next day, headlines, Women's Alliance exposes abusive executive. Northern fired him. Competitors sued for stolen info. Savannah's divorce finalized. Ethan, in jail, faced multiple charges, pleaded guilty to avoid trial, sentenced to 8 years. I started my job at Northern, reorganizing what Ethan destroyed. House repaired, mine alone. One evening, we 4 dined at my kitchen table. To us, I toasted. I didn't have to fight alone. My family saved me. They echoed, to solidarity. Freedom tasted sweet. Actual word count, approximately 4,000.